Hey guys, it's Plan Boy. Welcome back to my channel. If you're just joining and you're wondering who is this person and what is he carrying, my name is Plan Boy. I'm Nigeria's biggest plant content creator, and today is actually going to be a fun video because I am going to be propagating this guy and just making her look a lot decent. Because right now she looks a bit busted and crusted. There's even this pole on her back. She doesn't look as cute as she used to be. So this plant is actually an African milk bush. As the name implies, this is a plant that is native to Africa, which is one of the reasons why I love this plant. And it is not a cactus. It is actually an Euphorbia. As I pot this plant, I'm going to go into differences between a cacti and an Euphorbia, and why, if you live in the climate where I live in, like if you live in Nigeria or if you live in subtropical Africa, I w- if you can hear any noise, it's the mad dog next door. As I was saying, I'm going to propagate this plant and I'm going to be repotting it. Why do I have this hideous pole here? Well, at one point, this plant was really leaning badly. In order to support it, I had to attach like a pole. But I don't think this is a plant that typically leans. I've seen other people's specimens on the internet and it's taller than this, and I don't see it having leaning issues. I suspect it's because this pot I have it in is way bigger than it needs. And I also suspect that this pot is a bit too porous. So it's not able to retain water to enable it stand upright. I'm just saying this is my theory. I'm not an expert though. I'm just theorizing. Just stay tuned. Stay tuned. It should be fun. Let's begin. My people, this mad dog was not giving me peace, so let's just have a voice. The first thing you're going to do is put on your gloves because this plant has a lot of thorns and you don't want them prickling you because it can be painful. Which leads me to the difference between cacti and phobia. But before that, let's get a few poses in. This is basically just me posing for the thumbnail of this YouTube video, and this was a winning shot. Sometimes I forget that I'm actually a beautiful man, a speck and more. Let's also align this camera properly so you guys have like a better look at what I'm doing. There you go, that's perfect. So one of the major differences between cacti and euphobias is that euphobias actually have thorns and cacti have spines. Thorns tend to be more spread out, whereas spines tend to be more clustered together. And spines are actually modified leaves, whereas thorns are actually modified stems. Isn't that dope? So I'm going to be using this my cute hand shovel to just gently nudge at the rim of the pot and just gently tug the plant out. I use this method for plants in bigger pots or like in breakable pots like these. As you can see, I'm gently tugging the plant out from the bottom. It creates less of a mess and you don't get to damage the root if you're careful at it. And there you go, the root is out. As you can see guys, this plant actually has a very small root system. It doesn't need this big of a pot. I use such a big pot for it. I don't know what I was thinking. I was going through a big pot phase. Don't be like me. Let's go and get an appropriately sized pot for this plant. Meanwhile guys, do you know that my neighbor's mad dog was still barking? Nigerians just buy dogs and put them in cages and then the dogs start barking out of frustration. Not cool. So this is a more appropriately sized pot for this plant. As you can see, it's wider and it's shallow. Wide and shallow pots are recommended for plants that do not have deep root systems. It's also a terracotta pot, which makes it porous and would be perfect for a plant like this that doesn't like to be watered too often. Look at the size in comparison to the previous one. Now I am going to be propagating this plant separately, so I brought a small nursery pot for the one I'm going to be propagating. Let's get on with it. We're going to be repurposing the soil that was once in the pot because we're not about wasting soil here. Plus, this is my premium potting mix. It is lush, amazing. Just look at how fluffy and dark it is. If you're in Nigeria and you want this potting mix, send me a DM on my socials and order it. Like I said, if you're not doing this without any gloves, your hands are going to be in pain. In fact, even while I still had gloves, one of the thorns still managed to prick me and it was painful. I was trying to be macho about it, but it was actually painful. As far as care goes, I pretty much just grow this plant in full intense Nigerian sun. This plant can take our Nigerian sun. It can also take our Nigerian rain as well. So we get intense sunlight here in Nigeria and we also get intense rain during the rainy season. And this plant has been able to take it. I have noticed that it grows exponentially during the rainy season or when it is watered regularly. Just ensure you pot it in soil that is fast draining and doesn't retain so much water. Now we're done with the potting and it's time for us to propagate. Propagating these plants is actually really easy. You're just going to need a sharp knife. This is such a beautiful knife, is it not? You get the knife and you just cut anywhere. Literally anywhere. It is that easy. When you cut, you see this white sap coming out of it that looks like milk, which is where it gets its name from. But please do not take this milk. It is actually very toxic. Even if it lands on your skin, it can cause irritation and burning. So yeah, definitely don't drink this. I'm cutting and sticking back into the soil because I want to create like a bushy full plant. Some will say leave the cutting to dry out and callus before you stick it to the soil, but please, I don't have time for all those things. So guys, just enjoy the music while I finish up the rest. And we are done with this one. I mean, it's looking full already. So the part I cut off, new branches will form from it. I'm doing the same thing for this other cutting, but in a smaller nursery pot, so I can have two plants and sell one and make my money. Yes, a material girl. As you can see, one cutting I actually divided it into two, and I'm going to be sticking those two into the pot.
Suggestion that Saturday night, sensational double thrill stock car spectacular at 7:30 at Norwood.
We're done with that. It looks absolutely so cute. I think I even prefer this smaller one. Now to do my least favorite thing as a plant parent. Like, God, I hate doing this. Am I the only plant parent that hates having to clean up after you've repotted a plant or after you've made a mess? Gardening is actually messy and it involves a lot of cleaning. This is the part where I miss my iconic garden assistant, Farouk. Farouk doesn't come as frequently in my new place, so I miss him. As I said here, we do not waste good soil, though, so I'm going to be packing some of the soil that was in the tarp and putting it in the pot. We will store it and use it later. Okay guys, I'm finally done potting and sweating like a goat. Thankfully it's about to rain because this country is just hot for no reason. Let's take these two outside and watch them because I'm sure they're thirsty after this whole ordeal. Let's go. I'm usually a heavy watcher up. I'm not going to be watering a lot in this case because this has a lot of cuttings in it. And cuttings don't have roots here, so you don't want to water a lot. Just keep the soil moist. And we are done. I placed tab the other gang of plants. I'm going to give you guys an update very soon. Don't worry. I hope you guys liked this video. Please, if you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, like, and follow.